Hello and welcome to Gaston Spotlight. I'm Matthew Alexander. Today we'll be discussing the personal effects of COVID-19 during this pandemic. Joining me in the studio today is Michaela. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Matt.
Now, how has the pandemic affected your personal job and your finances?
Well, I actually lost my job during this pandemic. I work at a movie theater, and they closed down for the entirety of the 6 months that we were in quarantine. And they started to open up again, like last week, or this week actually, and then they're closing again. So I've basically completely lost my job because I'm going to be looking for a new one.
I'm sorry to hear that. How has this affected your mental health?
Well, at the beginning of quarantine, I was like in the best mental state I had ever been in, because I was just like, it was the really like break that I needed for my mental health. But then as we got farther into the quarantine, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have anything to do. And I always felt like I had something that I needed to be doing, even though I knew that I was not in school, I was not going to work, I had nothing. But I always felt like this impending doom, like something bad was going to happen if I didn't get something done.
Well, what do you find yourself doing during isolation?
I watched a lot of TV. I tried to read some books. Tried to, keyword. And I spent time with the people that live with me.
Has this affected your personal relationships on that note?
Well, with my boyfriend, we didn't really see each other before the COVID happened because I had to work and I had school and everything. So this helped like our relationship grow stronger. Whereas with my mom, me and her have argued a lot because we don't really agree on a lot of political things, and so it's always like a war with her, so it's like really weakened our relationship being in the same household all the time.
How do you feel about things opening up recently?
I wish my job would have opened back up, but it seems to be the only thing that's not opening back up. I guess I wish that the government would have like closed everything down at the beginning for like a month, because that's what a lot of other countries did, and the COVID kind of like stopped. But here we did it in phases, so there was like one restaurant's closed, one store's open, one restaurant's closed, one store's open, so it just made it a lot more difficult. But I don't really know how I feel about everything opening back up.
What measures have you done to ensure the safety of yourself and others?
I always wear my mask in public. I wash my hands all the time. So much so especially at the beginning of all of this, because everybody was so scared all the time. My hands were so cold constantly because I was washing them so often. And I use hand sanitizer. And obviously I try to keep myself as clean as I can. So that's pretty much all. And I try to I social distance and I stay home a lot. So.
What do you think about the government's response to this?
Well, like I said earlier, I wish that they would have done it differently, and I wish they would have closed everything down at the beginning, and then we wouldn't be still here worried about this almost 7 months later.
Do you think, other than that, do you think they could have done anything else to help out during this time?
Maybe not have make the people think of it as a conspiracy theory and more like an actual pandemic, but that's just me.
Have any government mandates or lack of mandates affected you?
Just the job, just everything closing down. Well, see, the company that I work for is Regal, and it's a UK-based company, so they have different rules than most companies here. So I can't really blame our government for that. So, no, not really.
What do you think of the rush development of a COVID vaccine? And if one comes out, would you be willing to take it?
I don't really know much about the COVID vaccine, but I'm sure I would if I was given the opportunity, because I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not gonna be no, I don't want that. If it might help me, then I'll take it. Yeah.
How do you see the pandemic affecting the future?
I was thinking about this yesterday, and I think that I don't know if we will ever go back to complete normalcy. Like, I don't think that it'll ever be like it was before this happened. I think eventually we'll get to a place where we're not having to wear masks all the time and we might not have to social distance as much, but I think that there'll always be that thing in the back of our mind where we're like, we have to stay clean, we don't want another COVID happening and stuff like that. So it's kind of sad to think that it might not ever go back to the way it was before.
Thank you for your time, Michaela.
Thank you for having me.
This has been Gaston Spotlight. I'm Matthew Alexander. Thank you for watching, and join us next week.